Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be grocery store plant shopping at the Kroger's Marketplace in the Colony, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. But before we get into the plant shopping, I did want to announce that I am part of the Cultivation Corner plant podcast show on YouTube with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. We will be premiering season 2 on February 18th. 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Super excited. We have a lot of new guests on there, but you can binge watch season 1 on our official YouTube channel, Cultivation Corner. I hope you can go ahead and subscribe to that channel. We're going to go ahead and walk over to this Kroger right here. And this is one that I typically don't make it to because it is a little bit further out in terms of me just driving. If I want to get here at a faster rate, I would have to get on the tollway, Highway 121. So I decided to go ahead and go to the Colony, Texas, just to see what plants they have in this area. This is one of the better Kroger marketplaces. So we're going to see that we do have some kalanchoe here. Kalanchoe are typically also used for like Lunar New Year and a lot of these seasonal holidays like Valentine's Day. You can see we have some chrysanthemums. These are called the China Yellow. Love these as well, and I believe these are either $9.99 or $11.99. Look at how large the blooms are. Here's the thing about houseplants. Houseplants are always going to be in the floral section at a grocery store, and so we're going to be visiting several Kroger grocery stores for this episode, and I will also show you some of my plant finds and plant haul and what I do after I buy the plant. So please make sure you are watching till the very end of the video. Super exciting stuff, and you'll just see what plants I end up getting. But as far as the chrysanthemums right here, love it. And chrysanthemums can be grown in the landscape, and they typically are perennial, so they will come back year after year. And then you can see that Kroger grocery stores also carry these large 10-inch planters. There are assorted varieties. So we've got the Dracaena Lemon Surprise right here. Super easy to care for plant. We've got Monstera Deliciosas, and then we also have a bunch of Phalaenopsis orchids. I'm going to walk over here because the tables are super full today. So you'll see that we have a Crusala, or what you call a jade plant. Now the jade plant or Crusala is known as a plant that is supposed to bring you good luck and fortune. And for those that are celebrating the Lunar New Year, happy Lunar New Year. Super excited that it is the year of the snake according to the Chinese zodiac. I'm actually the year of the dog. I was born in 82, so it's going to be a little ways for the year of the dog to come around. But as you can see here, plant foldies, we have a bunch of these philodendron white measures. This one's for $13.99, and the majority of plants that are sourced out specifically at Kroger are actually sourced out from Mason Farms, which is a nursery out in New Mexico, Texas. So I thought that was really interesting. But you can see we do have a lot of interesting plant finds. And as far as Kroger, I have actually discovered quite a bit of uncommon Alocasia. So I didn't expect to find this. This is an Alocasia Mickey Mouse. So whenever you're shopping, sometimes, shopping trips will surprise you about what plants you can find. Super excited to see that we have the Alocasia Mickey Mouse. Love the variegation on it. A lot of people will say the Alocasia Mickey Mouse is basically a variegated Alocasia Stingray. I do like the points. I like the leaf shape of the Alocasia Mickey Mouse. I do have one that is growing in Lechuza Pond, and it's doing fairly well for me. It's not the fastest growing Alocasia. No, as far as Alocasia, they are a little bit more of a challenging plant. I mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but Alocasias, I don't know if it's the watering that gets to me or the humidity levels, but they don't always work well for me. I would say if you move them to a semi-hydroponic substrate like Lechuza Pond specifically, they will do a little bit better long term as far as like simplifying the easy care that it will provide. Now, as far as this one right here, this is a really nice Peperomia camouflage. And, story time, when I first found a Peperomia camouflage while going shopping at Kroger, typically you go to Kroger grocery store to do your grocery store shopping, but I ended up finding this, and I really thought it was a sport variegated Peperomia teardrop, but lo and behold, they actually had the plant ID for it, and it is a variegated peperomia teardrop. Now, I love finding different types of Hoyas at Kroger grocery store. So I found a regular green Hoya carry-eye for $13.99, but I've also gotten lucky and found a variegated Hoya carry-eye for $13.99. We've got a white measure philodendron right here, which I think is a philodendron Birkin. Please leave in the comment section, plant foldies, if they are different types of plant, or do they just have a different plant ID. What's interesting about plants, specifically like Aglaonemas, for instance, Aglaonemas look very similar in so many aspects, but they have different names. So I don't know if that's the same concept of it. Now over here, we've got some terracotta planters actually by Costa Farms. This is a Photonia. And so Costa Farms, whether it is a big box store like Walmart, Lowe's, or Home Depot, you can even find them at Costco. You will also find Costa Farms at a grocery store. So you can see right here, this is a Photonia and it's actually in bloom. And Photonias are also known as the nerve plant. I love the veining of the Photonia. Unfortunately, I steer away from growing Photonias, not because they're not a beautiful plant. It's just that I know the watering requirements for the Photonia plant. And since I am somebody who doesn't really water my plants nearly as much as I need to, I need plants that are a little bit more drought tolerant. And so Photonias are not drought tolerant. They definitely need to keep their soil moist for them to really thrive. And even at times, they may need higher humidity levels. They are beautiful. They come in many varieties of colors, specifically pinks and deep red colors, but they've also gotten white Photonias and some new hybrids by Proven Winners Leaf Joy, which typically sources more out to Home Depot. But I am excited to take a look at this. And specifically, I went to this location because I heard that they actually marked down their plant pricing. Like this one right here is a Ficus Elastica in a 10-inch planter for $4. Pause right here, plant foldies. Would you buy this Ficus Elastica Altissima for $4? It was normally $19.99. And the only cosmetic damage it really has is the lower leaves have some browning. It might have been put out in a temperature that was a little bit cold, or it could have been sunburn. Yeah, I'm going to go definitely buy this plant because it is a need today. And the only reason why it is a need or something that I want to buy is because of the plant price. I've been looking for a Ficus Altissima, and that is one that I feel like for the price, it is very inexpensive, cost effective, $4. That is a good savings, and I'm going to go ahead and buy that today. We've got a neon pothos or an epipermanum aureum neon. This one is for $9.99 in a 6-inch planter. So when you compare plant pricing, that is one way to save on money in terms of when you go shopping for plants. So typically a 6-inch planter you will find, say, at Walmart for $9.97 by Garden Expert, but you can find neon pothos for $9.99, which is actually the most inexpensive plant pricing I've seen actually out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you're discovering my plant shopping channel for YouTube, I am based out in the North Dallas area. So typically a lot of my plant shopping videos feature a lot of these big box stores, and today mostly grocery store shopping. But if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, especially if you are a local Dallas-Fort Worth plant foldie. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. My name is Richie. I do daily shopping videos featuring houseplants. Hopefully you subscribe to the YouTube channel with all the notification bell on. Would love for our community to continue to grow. And as far as all of these plants right here I'm featuring, we've got a golden pothos. All of these are easy care plants, and these are plants that I would buy at Kroger grocery store. Here's another tidbit about grocery store plants. They are very much so healthy plants. If a plant starts to decline in health, grocery stores like Kroger, for instance, treat them just like produce, like fruits and vegetables. If they are not the freshest of vegetables, or they're about to go bad, they will reduce the prices. It's the same thing with grocery stores. And I would venture out to say that a lot of the savings or budget-friendly plants you can find at a grocery store like Kroger. I know that I will be buying that Ficus Altissima for $4. That is huge savings. And when you are trying to manage your money in terms of just the financial budget you have for your plants, going to a store like Kroger's, going to a grocery store to go shopping for plants of all places, you can save a lot of money. Now over here, we've got some croton plants. That one is for $9.99. And you can see even the presentation of Kroger grocery store, super full and impactful indeed. And you can see over here, this is a philodendron green princess. Yup, they have a green princess. And I'll tell you, green plants need all of our love. Just as much as I talk about underrated, overlooked plants like the Aglaonema, which we will get into later on the video, we also think that, or at least I feel like green plants are ignored because most people will gravitate to the more variegated varieties. But I do think that that's a beautiful plant. Those are for $13.99. Same thing with the Peperomia Guinea. I love it. And this is another Peperomia that has very much succulent type qualities. It's really drought tolerant. And we talk about budget friendly plants. So I did find this. Look at this neon pothos right here. Beautiful plant. It is only for $2.20. I found this Alocasia Mickey Mouse, $2.20, originally $13.99. So that's just such a good plant price. And I found in this for $4, and this is a really good plant price for that Ficus Altissima. So I really lucked out when it comes to the plants that I found today at this Kroger grocery store, and I've been looking for an Aglaonema Red Vein for $4.40. It's originally $29.99. So plant foldies, we're going to be grocery store plant shopping now at the Kroger off of Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. So this one isn't a Kroger marketplace, which is actually the larger version of the Kroger. If you made it this far into the video and you haven't pressed the thumbs up button or the like button, please do so. It definitely helps me out. So we're going to walk in here and see what foliage plants that they have. So what is actually popular right now at the Kroger grocery stores is all of these 10-inch foliage plants for $19.99. So you can see right over here, plant foldies. We've got a lot of these Sansevieria trifasciatas. They've actually got a lot of height on them. So if you want an easy to care for plant, that is a plant I would recommend because it can tolerate lower light conditions. You can see this one right here, I believe is the Sansevieria sayuri. I'm not 100% sure, but it's got that cream variegation on it. Again, it is another plant that, as far as Sansevieria or snake plants, you want to make sure that the soil dries out completely before you water it. And then we also have a Dracaena here. I believe this is a Dracaena Lemon Surprise. Gorgeous yellow foliage on there. And this again is for $19.99. But if you saw from the previous Kroger marketplace that I went shopping at, you can actually find these on sale. So what I would suggest is just, if you have Kroger grocery stores, I would just frequent them as often as possible, because what the employee was saying is a lot of the times they actually mark down their plants to make room for a new shipment. So sometimes it's not because the plant is actually unhealthy. It's just that sometimes they need to make more space. So instead of them tossing the plants out, they end up just marking them down, and hopefully people will go ahead and buy them. And I think that's a really good process in terms of just moving some of these plants. And I am a fan of Kroger grocery store plants just because I've found a lot of uncommon plants for a really good cost-effective price. Now this one right over here is another Ficus Elastica Altissima. You notice this one is a little bit droopy, so this one is definitely going to need some water. I ended up scoring a great deal as far as like plant pricing, or just going shopping and getting a really affordable price, $4 versus $19.99. And at the later part of this video, I am going to show you the process of cleaning up the plant, getting it rehabbed, and getting it to the point where it doesn't look like a clearance plant. So what I'm going to do with some of the plants at the end of the video is show you the process and kind of just discuss what I would do. Again, the fact that the first Kroger grocery store, I was able to get a bunch of plants for only like, I think $16 or less than that. I think that is such a good price. And then you can see right here, Ficus Elastica Ruby. Now, so if this actual plant was actually even clearance down to like $9, I would totally buy the plant, because Ficus Elastica Ruby, it's a beautiful plant. I think the only thing that makes ficus plants a little bit more challenging to grow indoors is that they need quite a bit of light. So you have to provide them with a lot of bright indirect light. If you're not able to provide that because you don't have like a really good source of like a south facing window or a west facing window, what I would suggest is getting a grow light to grow right on top of it, and you should be good to go. Now, this plant right here is one of my favorites, Aglaonema Silver Bay. Love the Aglaonema Silver Bay. It is as common of a plant as, say, the Aglaonema Red Siam, and I am on a campaign to really just talk about Aglaonema on every single video of mine multiple times. So hopefully you don't get tired of me talking about Aglaonemas, and if you do, I mean, this is my own plant shopping content, so I really want to just push that I guess agenda out for anybody, because I do think that if you do discuss plants multiple times, maybe people will actually open up and actually look at it, because a lot of times plants in general, they get traction in terms of popularity because social media, as I've said in all of my videos, is a very powerful platform. People can choose to push a certain type of content. People can choose to share or not share certain things about maybe their plant collection. And, I was actually in a discussion with somebody about what is truly real when it comes to social media, because just like everyday life, you go about it, and if you watch something live, that's not something you can edit, versus watching something that is on social media where you can choose to edit or omit certain parts of that content. For me, I just like to just shoot the videos that I find. So I'll pick up plants like this. For instance, this is a Philodendron Red Imperial, beautiful plant. Sometimes it's mistaken as the Philodendron Black Cardinal, but it really just depends on what you want to show your viewers. So for me, I like to show easy care plants. I like to share tips on how to save money on plants, where you can find plants, how you can source out your plants, so where it could be a little bit more cost effective. Like, I know that the previous video last night, I featured and really talked about a small business called Peta's Planters. I am part of this plant podcast called The Cultivation Corner, and both my friends Janae and Steven of I Live Plants, we're really supporting small businesses as well. I know I do a lot of big box store plant shopping videos. Again, it's because a lot of y'all may not be as fortunate to be around local small businesses, but if you get a chance, definitely check out Peta's Planters video. She is now shipping her planters online, and this was what I was talking about, this Philodendron Pink Princess. So I was actually surprised, like literally surprised, to see that this is a large foliage Philodendron Pink Princess for $19.99. So without even knowing the repeat plants I get, so I know that Aglaonemas are plants that I could have multiples of. I didn't realize I had so many different varieties of Philodendron Pink Princess in my collection. Now, $19.99, it is the full price, but there's two of them. They're low variegated. I don't mind it because I do like the dark foliage of this plant. Now, it's a debate on whether I want to pay $19.99 for this plant. I would say for today, I want to rescue this Philodendron Pink Princess, because there's no guarantee that this will actually get marked down. And, to find one that has really large leaves, I want something that's a bit larger, and the leaves are a little bit wider. There's some versions of Philodendron Pink Princess, and I think it's mostly the tissue culture ones that you could find, have more narrowish leaves. But this one has really large leaves, and that's one that I definitely want to add. And so I'm probably going to get the one either on the bottom with a little bit more speckles on the leaves, or this one. I'm going to really have to decide. But what I would do, especially if I buy a plant like this, I mean, it's a large plant. Number one, I'm not going to repot the plant. So I'm going to keep it in its grower pot. It's a 10-inch planter. So what I'll do is I'll find a nice catch pot. Now, Target, if you shop at Target or Target, they have some really stylistic planters, really modern looking planters that are really cost effective. So they have this yellow planter I wanted to buy. It's actually able to hold a 10-inch planter like that for only $12. So I think I would do that. And then another thing I would do once I buy that Philodendron Pink Princess is I want to make sure that, number one, I put systemic granules on the soil surface. And that's really just to make sure that there are no plant pests. Eggs, some people have a debate on whether they want to use some type of plant pesticide like that. As long as you're wearing, gloves, as long as you're wearing a mask when you're putting it on the surface of the soil, I think you should be fine. Like I said, again, please make sure you are reading the instructions carefully whenever you're dealing with systemic granules, but it is a good way to prevent pests. So it would get rid of any potential plant pests. Eggs. And then I obviously would take the plant to the shower and clean up the leaves with just water. Once I do that and water the systemic granules into the soil, I would also let the plant dry out, and then I would spray my Plant Foldy Mist neem oil spray, which is a combination of rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, a drop of dish soap, and cold pressed neem oil, and really spray down the plant, the top of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, in between the stems, in between the nodes, the top of the soil, the bottom of the drainage holes, to really eradicate any potential plant pests. Now, will it potentially get all of the plant pests living there? Most likely not, but it would get a lot of it out there. And so for me, whenever I buy plants, and this is just a tip that I would like to share with the plant foldies, is I constantly spray my plants at least twice a week with the Foldy Mist. You know, neem oil is really not harmful for the plant. It really is an organic alternative when it comes to just taking care of plants, and it gives you a natural leaf shine. Love that. And I mean, you can see right over here, we've got a Ficus Elastica Burgundy, beautiful plant, a Apolea peperomoides, and we've got some hanging baskets here. This one is a Stramanthe Triostar, $13.99, and I love the foliage of this plant. But just like the Calatheas and the prayer plant, Stramanthes are also a plant that's a little bit more finicky in terms of just making sure you have to keep the soil moist. It prefers higher humidity levels, and it likes better quality water. And what I mean by that is, whenever you're watering plants, some plants have more tolerance on doing tap water. You know, tap water typically has hard minerals, and it's not always the best for the plant. So you'll sometimes see crisping and browning on the leaves. It's not necessarily a plant pest. It's sometimes having to do with the water quality. So water quality is something that I would like to continue to delve into as I continue to make these plant shopping videos for the Plant Foldy community. But this Kroger actually has quite a bit of plants to choose from, and that's the thing, not all grocery stores are going to be created equal. I will say on a consistent basis, most Kroger stores stay in stock, and that's really exciting because yes, we will see most of the same types of plants from Kroger, but the health and quality of the majority of the plants are always going to be up to par, because they do have standards of making sure that these plants are fresh, healthy, just like they would if they were to cull through vegetables and fruits and just any type of produce. And as far as Kroger, if you like Phalaenopsis orchids, you will always find Phalaenopsis orchids at a grocery store like Kroger, as well as really nice Hoya. So you can see right here, I believe this is a Hoya Crimson Princess. Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. Correct me if I'm wrong, especially if you're a Hoya head and you really know a lot about Hoyas. Let me know in the comment section if that is a plant ID. That one's for $13.99. And then you can see right here, this is a lemon button fern for $9.99. Beautiful texture of the fern. And you know, somebody had asked me what types of leaves I like. I like really large, robust, colorful leaves. So something that has a little bit smaller foliage like that, I'm not as into. Now, I will say this pink splash or polka dot plant, beautiful pink foliage. The only thing about it is, and I have not been able to grow this successfully at all, is I don't know if it's the watering or the humidity levels, but I always end up getting browning leaves. So I don't know if it's the water quality, but you see we have a pink variety, a white variety, and a red variety. So if you like pink foliage plants, I feel like everybody does that watches this channel. I love pink plants, and that's the reason why I love Aglaonemas. They just come in so many varieties. You can see that. But with Fittonias, or not Fittonias, I'm sorry, they look similar to Fittonias. These polka dot plants also like to be on the wetter side, so you want to keep their soil moist. And then you can see over here, this is actually one of my favorite plants. This is a Pelea plant. This one is also known as the aluminum plant, and you can see that it's got some nice silver foliage. This one is for $9.99. Here's the thing about this plant. It can get leggy, but what you can do is trim it back and it will actually get a little bit more bushy. I've had this plant in the past. I've actually had a variegated version of it. The only thing about it is I ended up neglecting it because I was not able to water it. Now, you can't go to Kroger without me finding a Hedera helix, or what you call a Hedera helix. That's the correct way to say it. And if you're new to this channel and you clicked on this video, I hope I didn't really frighten you in the way I say Hedera helix as Hedera helix. It is a Plant Foldy type inside joke, inside culture thing. I don't know what it is, but I know that some of you guys continue to count how many times I say that. But that is an English ivy. Love them. Hard to grow though. Croton plants again. This one is a Croton Petra, and I've actually gone to a lot of big box stores and they still have a surplus of Croton plants even from last year in October. So a lot of those seasonal plants that come out. So we've got Croton plants, for instance, poinsettias. My opinion about those plants are they are just overproduced. They are overproduced for the holidays. I get that we want Croton plants because they have that fall color vibe about it. I get that poinsettias are considered a Christmas holiday season plant, but we don't need to overproduce the plants, because what happens is a lot of those plants end up going to plant heaven. A lot of the containers that keep the plants are plastic. So that's a lot of waste. And then you got to think about how much time and effort was placed to grow the plants. And I know that it is a business. I'm sure that on a large scale, that's nurseries are aware of it. But I mean, even as a consumer, as somebody who collects plants, as somebody who wants to grow plants, I always just wonder how much waste the plants are. You know, they say plants are great for the environment, but I also think that plants are such a big pollutants as well when it comes to that. Now, this is another Kroger grocery store. This one is off of El Dorado Road in McKinney, Texas. So you can see this Kroger actually has some Rhaphidophora tetraspermas. These are Costa Farms trending tropical plants, and it looks like they've actually put a nice little leaf shine on their plants. If you want the most inexpensive trending tropical Costa Farms plants, you need to shop at Kroger, because these are only for $16.99. This one is an Epiprimnum aureum lemon meringue pothos. You can see it's got some beautiful leaf foliage. So whoever's taking care of these plants is taking that extra care to shine the leaves. So it's a really nice presentation for it. I am obsessed about cleaning my leaves and keeping them shiny. And whenever I show the YouTube world my houseplant tour, you will see that the majority of my plants are very much manicured. I think that that's the relaxing portion about plant chores, is actually tending to them, really practicing mindfulness, watching the leaves grow, but more so just shining and cleaning the plants. I just love a nice leaf shine on them. So, I use my Foldy Mist, but one plant product I'm really pushing, and they do not sponsor me, although I am open to a sponsorship, is We the Wild Neem Oil Protect Spray. You can buy that at a Target stores. They do have the kits, We the Wild Neem Oil Spray. Super organic, plant product, and it is really helpful to help with the plants. They have the grow fertilizer, but more so, I love the spray. It makes the leaves shine. It also protects them from potential plant pests such as spider mites, mealy bugs, thrifts, and some other plants, because you have that layer of protection on the plant. And you can see right here, this one is the shingles plant that is starting to come back again. So this one actually rotates with Costa Farms, but as you can see right here, plant foldies, we've got quite a bit of plants to choose from trending tropicals. I love seeing trending tropical plants. I'm hoping that this year Costa Farms actually has more trending tropical plants that feature Aglaonemas. And then you can see right over here, this is another golden pothos plant, and look at the leaf shine on this. So you can clearly see that whoever is taking care of these plants is actually taking the time to give it that extra love and care. And then obviously this is another Hydra Helix. Now go ahead and say it with me again, plant foldies. Hydra Helix. I know that it's super cringe, but I don't mind being cringe, because again, I like to be my most authentic self when it comes to my plant YouTube channel. I think if you watch me on the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast, and I want to promote that again in this video, we are premiering season 2 for the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. Please make sure you are actually going to that YouTube channel, because you're not going to be able to watch a lot of me. You get to actually see most of me except my face. And yes, I am still going to be wearing masks. I'm not going to be wearing the ski mask, because some of you guys really thought it was disturbing. The amount of negativity I get sometimes when it comes to me being outwardly open about why I do not want to be face on YouTube. It's kind of crazy, because I think a lot of times people feel like they own your content when it comes to you making content for a public forum. I think that even content creators should be allowed and are allowed to show what they want to show, produce the content they want to do, and it's up to the consumer, the viewer, the supporter, whether they want to watch the content or not. But I always tell people, it is free to be kind. It is free to be positive. It is something I feel like the world needs. And so I think in terms of even social media, yes, we do allow ourselves to be judged because it is a public forum. But I always tell people, think before you click, think before you put a comment, and think about whether you would say that to the person if you were to see them up front in person, or would you say that to somebody that's close to their family. I think the amount of bashing sometimes that people get on YouTube or even social media, and that's the reason why most people are even reluctant to make a public forum. But let me get off of my little soapbox here. That's the thing about my plant shopping content. Sometimes I tend to delve into other subjects aside from the plants. So we'll talk about the plants here again. Now, this particular Kroger has a lot of these Phalaenopsis orchids, and you know how some plants, they like entice you to want to collect them? As many times as I've seen a Phalaenopsis orchid, which is basically daily. I mean, it's crazy that I work a really demanding job, but I have a routine of either filming lots of content on my day off or going to a big box store or a grocery store and filming plants after a long day at work. I see Phalaenopsis orchids, but Phalaenopsis orchids haven't really given me that urge to want to collect the plant. So the final part of this one I wanted to show you was all of these large foliage plants right here. So you can see we've got some Ficus Altissimas again, and the very first Kroger grocery store I was able to see, but you can see that these ones are super healthy. They're watered, and look at the leaf shine again. So for me, plant foldies, if you use neem oil spray, if you use the DIY neem oil spray that I call as the folding mist, it is one that will not only kill plant pests, but it will also make the foliage shiny like this. And I always say, if you want to grow plants and you show them in a way where they're shiny and they're healthy and the foliage looks great, it just kind of enhances the presentation of the plant. And I am excited to show you my houseplant tour. I'm really thinking that it's going to have to be when things are a little bit warmer, when spring comes around. So definitely stay tuned for that. But I also will tell you, plant foldies, that if you do have Kroger grocery stores in your area, definitely check it out because they are constantly culling through plants. So you will get some savings in terms of finding plants. You really have to debate on whether you're going to, I would say, rescue the plant. But you can see right here, they've got tons of these large foliage plants. This one right here, for instance, is a Thenanthe plant. Love it. I actually have one of those, but you can see that that one's a large foliage one. And this one right over here, we've got some Aglaonema silver base. So I did see one for $8. I may end up getting a large foliage Aglaonema silver bay, and then you can see they've got also Monstera Thai constellation. I mean, sorry, not Monstera Thai constellation. That would be a huge win if you found one that size. A Monstera deliciosa. So look at the green form, right? The green form is beautiful, and it's another one that I feel like Monstera deliciosa has really been put on the back burner when it comes to people collecting Monsteras. I think the green form is beautiful, and I'm really trying to get my leaves to even get larger and fenestrate. So hopefully when I do my houseplant tour, I can show you that as well. But plant foldies, as you can see right over here, I'm going to go to another Kroger grocery store. So this one is a Kroger marketplace off of Highway 380 in McKinney, Texas. So this is further up north in McKinney. Again, I am based out in the North Dallas area. So we're just going to see what this Kroger has, if they have any plants that are on clearance, if they have any plants that are worthy of being rescued, because I was able to get 2 more Aglaonema Red Veins from the previous Kroger, and I am going to end up putting them in a semi-hydroponic situation. But right from the get-go, I did find another Alocasia Mickey Mouse right over here that is reduced to $6.50. So this is originally $13.99. I did find one for a lot cheaper at the first Kroger marketplace for $2.20. So it really depends on how much they mark the plants down. I will say, if you live in the Lewisville, Texas, Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, Plano area, I would recommend going to the Colony Kroger marketplace because they reduced their plant prices down substantially, and the plants are really healthy. So for me, Yes, they reduce plant pricing, but at the same time, sometimes the plant pricing is reduced because of the plant health. I mean, you can see that this one's not bad, $6.15 for this Calathea rospicta. This will not make it into my plant collection because, as I've said in the past, Calatheas, planfolies, they are the biggest heartbreakers. I would love to be able to grow them. I've tried to grow them in semi-hydro. I've tried to grow them in straight water. I've tried to grow them in mini substrates and they just don't work. Now, this one is for $8. So this one is a philodendron, that I think white wizard maybe. I think it's a white wizard, but you can see how large this one is. That is another one that I would have considered taking back, but I already have a lot of large foliage plants in my plant collection, and that means I would have to find more space. I'm really trying to downsize some of my plant collection, although I keep adding more plants, especially whenever I go to like my favorite plant shop in Dallas called Peta's Planters. I end up getting like 4 or 5 new Aglaonema. It is an addiction. It is a plant addiction. I am trying to get out of this plant addiction, but then I also reframe that look of a plant addiction as being a more safe one. It's not like I am taking out loans like some people I've seen in the plant community where they're literally spending hundreds and thousands of dollars getting on like apps like Palm Street. I've never really bought anything on Palm Street. I had it at one point and I could see how quickly somebody could spend money on plants just ordering them. I delete Etsy off of my phone sometimes because I'm just really tempted to go and order plants. So for me, I've already exposed myself to the point where I could buy plants on a daily basis because I'm at a grocery store like this. I mean, you can see right here, beautiful Hydra Helix. This one's actually trailing. Love the green foliage. And so I'm just going to walk around and show you what we have at this grocery store, this Kroger grocery store. I'm looking for some more red vein Aglaonema because red vein Aglaonema by Tropic Treasures is a beautiful Aglaonema, but it's one of those where I don't know if I really want to spend $29.99 when I know that at some point Kroger will reduce the prices of those plants. And that's really my tip. If you are able to wait a little bit, and actually a lot of it has to do with luck too. Sometimes you can walk into, say, a grocery store like Kroger and find plants like the first part of this video where I found a Ficus Elastica Altissima for only $4. And it's really luck of the draw sometimes. Sometimes they just literally clearance out the plants. And that goes to also for big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, where they've just reduced the plant pricing and, you're able to get first dibs on it. But let me just keep walking around and showing you what plants that they have at this Kroger. And you can see right over here, plant foldies. We got another philodendron green princess. This one's for $13.99 in a hanging basket. So I'm just gonna keep showing you the plants. It doesn't look like they have a lot of selection at this Kroger, but I don't mind just showing you the plants that they have right here. I know that you've seen pretty much the same plants from all of the locations, but if you are in a search for, you know, these 10-inch foliage house plants for $19.99, Kroger is actually selling them in, honestly, $19.99 for 10-inch plants like this. These are probably the most cost effective when you start to compare it to like big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, where everything is either above $20, like maybe in the $24 range. So if you're looking for like a snake plant or a Sansevieria trifasciata, I would go there. If you're looking for a large foliage silver bay, Aglaonema silver bay, which my recommendation is every plant folding needs to get one, or even a Monstera deliciosa. And if you get lucky like me, where I found a low variegated philodendron pink princess, go to your Kroger grocery store, or if you are out of state and you don't have Kroger grocery stores, try to look at your other grocery stores that may sell plants. They may have something similar, but as you can see right here, a lot of the plants on this table are, again, easy care plants. You know, I would recommend of all the plants here to buy an Aglaonema silver bay that is low light tolerant, drought tolerant. They even have a Ficus lyrata over here. They've got some ponytail palms. So nice size foliage plants. I will say though, if you are really looking for a size like this and you want to save money, frequent your Kroger grocery stores. See if they reduce them. You know, I've seen these be as low as $4, for instance, which I think is the best price I've seen for a 10-inch planter, as well as like the $8 range. So I don't know, plant foldies, if you shop at Kroger grocery store. For my local plant foldies in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, have you been going to Kroger grocery stores? I do urge you, if you haven't already, to share your plant finds in the comment section. I know I say this multiple times in my videos, but I really do love that engagement. It really does validate that my efforts to produce daily shopping videos for you give you guys some type of entertainment, but also to just grow this community in a sense that the engagement is there. But you know, as far as like a philodendron red imperial, love that dark foliage. It's a really good size plant. Now, if I found one that was pretty good in terms of just no cosmetic damage, I would even be willing to pay full price, $19.99 for that philodendron red imperial. If I found like a philodendron moonlight, I would definitely snag it for $19.99. But you can see right here, this one has a little bit of damage. So I'm hoping that at some point they may reduce this Ficus Elastica Ruby, but let me go ahead and pan away. And the next part of this video is me converting these plants into either semi-hydro or actually cleaning up the leaves and showing you the final product of some of my rescue plants. So let's go take a look at this. So this one was the first one. This is my Aglaonema Red Vein that I got. So you can see right here, this one was for $4.40. Super thankful that they had marked down this price. It's actually a fairly healthy looking one right here. So what I'm going to explain is basically I won't do as much talking. I want this to be more of like a relaxing ASMR thing. I know that you've seen this content before, but some of you guys really like the relaxing thing. So what you'll need to do is make sure that you remove all the soil off of the roots first. the next step is to actually pot this up. So I'm going to actually pot this Aglaonema Red Vein up in a 3-inch self-watering planter. You can see that the roots are actually not, this is not my Aglaonema Red Vein. This is actually the Alocasia Mickey Mouse that I ended up getting. So I'm actually mixing a little bit of the Lechuza Pond with Leca. So as far as Alocasias, they don't do as well in Leca. I think that since the roots are a little bit more fine, you want to go ahead and put Lechuza Pond, and I just have a very small amount left. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and pot it up. You want to just make sure that you get these pretty much potted in securely. You can see right here, plant foldies, we've got more Leca right here. So I'm going to actually plant my Aglaonema Red Vein. I'm so happy that I got it for $4.40. And I'm just going to put it in Leca because Leca is actually not bad for the Aglaonemas. Aglaonemas have more thicker, robust roots. So they would actually do well in that Leca. And so I'm just going to pat the sides down and just make sure that there's no air pockets. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the next process, which is actually rinsing the Leca or Lechuza Pond and then watering with nutrient solution, and then finally filling up the water reservoir with the nutrient solution for these plants. You can see the final steps is me just spraying it down with We the Wild neem oil spray. This is just to protect neem oil spray that I love to use. I use it for the leaves, and I have my microfiber gloves to wipe every single leaf down, to just wipe it and get it all shiny and looking good. It also adds a layer of protection because you have that neem oil spray to repel any potential plant pests. And that is basically it. What I'm going to do is grow these under a grow light in my plant room, and hopefully these will recover, establish. And that's the thing though about converting any of the plants into semi-hydro substrates. There is going to be an acclimation period. Not all of your semi-hydro transfers are going to make it. Sometimes the roots just don't establish well enough to where they just end up going to plant heaven. But I feel like the return of investment when it comes to plants establishing in semi-hydro make it easier in terms of not having to water the plants nearly as much. You just have to fill the water reservoir and the plant pretty much waters itself. And then you can see right here, this Mickey Mouse Alocasia, while I already have it as well, I'm just happy that I was able to get it for $2.20, which I think is such a good price. Again, plant foldies, leave it in the comment section if you agree with me, but I'm just carefully cleaning the leaves and getting them all shiny. You can see right over here, plant foldies. I have now gotten 2 more of my Aglaonema Red Vein rescues that I got from another Kroger grocery. So these ones don't have nearly as much foliage, but if I got them for $4.40, it's not a bad price at all. I'm going to go ahead and show you again the process of me getting rid of the dead leaves, cleaning the leaves, and also just transferring them in leca. So I'm going to just, the first step is to get rid of the soil and make sure you clean out the roots, and you'll just have to follow this process for me. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and just visually show you the process of how I rescue and convert these plants into semi-hydro. want to insert this clip, plant folies, on how I make my nutrient solution and show you the nutrients I use. Basically, I get a gallon jug and then I put like some water in it first. What you want to do whenever you're mixing the solution is, number one, you want to I only use a quarter of the dose that is needed for the plants because I want a very diluted nutrient solution. So I'll just put a little bit of this Grow Concentrate by We the Wild. It's made with worm castings and organic material. It actually helps establish the roots. Very mild nutrient solution. And then I will use the majority of Fox Farm fertilizers. They're also organic, and I will just use a quarter of a tablespoon versus a full tablespoon. So the Bush Doctor Boomerang is actually great because this is actually used to rehab plants. So whenever you're transferring plants into semi-hydro, they end up going into shock because you're taking them from a soil substrate and then you're moving them into a semi-hydro environment. So that will actually help recover the plant as well. So I'll just put a quarter of a dose of a tablespoon of that, and then I will go ahead and fill it up with water. So every nutrient that you put in, you want to make sure that you're putting some water. You don't want to mix all the nutrients at once because it'll just mess up the balance. And then this is that Grow that I also use from Fox Fertilizers. I ended up buying these actually at HEB, which is another grocery store, but you can buy these all on Amazon. So I'll just do a mixture of that. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, but I like to dilute this and just get that nutrient solution ready for my semi-hydro conversions, as well as just watering my plants in general. plant foliage, you can see that I have potted up these Aglaonema Red Veins, which I think they look pretty good. I'm hoping that they can push out some more foliage. I'm glad that I was able to rescue them. So this is me willing to actually put these in semi-hydro. And then I'm just going to show you the plant haul, my plant rescues from Kroger, where I ended up saving quite a bit of money getting the plants. So let me go ahead and pan to the next one and show you my plant haul. So here is my plant haul from my shopping at Kroger grocery store. So I got this neon pothos 6-inch planter for only $2.20. The original price was $9.99. I ended up putting it in a different catch pot. That one is actually from Target. I ended up buying that as a threshold planter. Love that cream shape on it, but you can see right here what I just needed to do. I know when I first bought it, it was just really droopy, so I ended up just watering it and spraying it with neem oil, and it perked up. And then this is probably my best plant find from my plant haul, from my shopping haul, and this is the Ficus Elastica Altissima. I ended up getting this for only $4. The original price was again $19.99. And what I ended up doing is, number one, watering the plant, putting some grow concentrate on it to really just recover it. And then I ended up spraying it with the neem oil spray, wiping down the leaves. And then the bottom leaves where I ended up pulling them off, the ones with some damage. And I have a couple that still have a little bit of damage, but I didn't want to pull too many of the leaves off. I'm going to let it establish and acclimate again. And then I ended up getting this beautiful yellow planter from Target as well. That one hosts a 10-inch planter right there, and I kept it in its grower pot. I may eventually repot this, but for now, I'm just going to let it acclimate. Look at how gorgeous this is. And again, it's a huge savings for me, $4. So I always love showing you my plant hauls for my shopping videos. And then this one right here is a philodendron pink princess, but look at how beautiful the leaves are now. So I did give this a little bit more tender love and care. So what I did is I got rid of some of the leaves that were damaged from the bottom. And then what I did is I actually got a totem pole moss pole to support it up. So now it's upright, it's not drooping. And I used that We the Wild Protect Neem Oil spray, sprayed it, and then I literally wiped down every single leaf, every single stem with my microfiber gloves. And you can see how this plant is just stunning. And yes, it's not really variegated with a lot of pink, but I love the dark foliage. And what I really love is the fact that it's a nice size plant. I feel like you wouldn't find philodendron pink princess for $19.99 in this size. It is in a 10-inch planter, and I'm hoping that it will continue to establish and grow and get larger leaves. Just that extra care and attention with the neem oil spray, cleaning up the leaves, really does accentuate the plant. Now, I didn't change the pot yet. I'm going to get me another pot from Target. I'm going to go shopping at Target and do my Target run. But for now, I did want to just show off the leaves. And then obviously the Aglaonema Red Vein. So these were all about $4 each. These were originally $29.99. So I saved quite a bit of money on them. So again, that's all about just being patient with the plants. Like my initial reaction was, I have to buy the Aglaonema today. It is a new, it's a need, but at some point I did realize that, at least with the trends with Kroger, if I just wait long enough, these plants will eventually go on clearance. You can see the one on the very left is the most healthy, but I'm not really afraid about the other two actually establishing in semi-hydro. I think with some tender loving care, these will eventually start to grow. I heard that this plant actually is a little bit faster growing. And then this is just my final pan around of all the plants. So I've got a neon pothos for $2.20, 6-inch planter. And plant folies, I would love for you to give me some commentary if you feel like these were value added, if these plants were priced at the correct price. Would you have bought them? And did you learn something new in terms of just how to save money on plants, what to do with plants? I mean, the one on the very left, I think the $4 for that Ficus Altissima was a huge money savings for me. And then the philodendron pink princess, I wasn't feeling bad about spending full price because it is a nice size plant, and with just a little bit of extra meticulous care, it ended up looking such, becoming a beautiful plant. So if you like this video today, please make sure you press the thumbs up or like button. I would highly appreciate it. It definitely helps support this content, as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds. I will see you with a brand new video tomorrow. This is Richie. Bye.